Hi everyone, today I want to talk about something a bit different again. My housing plans. I'm going to talk about the whole context of where I live now and what I'm planning and trying to do in terms of my housing in the future, and how it relates to my financial freedom and my feeling of freedom in general. So let's talk about why I'm considering what I'm considering and how I'm thinking about freedom, money, and lifestyle all at once. And in case you're new here, in case you're new to my channel, I'm Marta, welcome. Right now I live in a 2-bedroom semi-detached house in southeast London. It's a very comfortable house. I bought it 11 years ago with my then partner. We were looking for a place that would be closer to central London. Usually people do the other thing. They live more centrally and then move a bit further out once they want to have a family or just basically more space. What we did was the opposite. We lived in a very small flat, about 32 square meters in Zone 6, southwest London. And my idea was to get a flat that would be part of a house. So you would still have the benefits of a share of freehold, but also the benefits of a flat. So lower maintenance requirements and just less hassle that come with living in a flat. My partner at the time, on the other hand, wanted a garden. So when we viewed this house, he actually didn't view it. I viewed it and I reported that it had absolutely everything we needed and wanted. His garden, good location in Zone 3 with decent transport links, and more than double the space of our flat. The area was and still is very green, quiet, with no tourists, lots of parks within a walking distance. In fact, everything we needed within a walking distance. So about 4 gyms, one with a swimming pool, about 4 or 5 supermarkets, pharmacies, GP practices, cafes, restaurants, and an independent bookshop. A very important thing for both of us at the time. Maybe it wasn't an urban architecture's ideal, the 15-minute walk city, because we both worked in central London, but it was close enough. So we put an offer in and the rest is history. A few years passed, we broke up, and when we broke up, I kept the house and my ex-partner kept the flat. So I lived here on my own, then with an ex, and now I live here on my own again. Now, as much as this house is very comfortable and I have everything I need here, I also realize it's too big for me. It's about 74 square meters with 2 bedrooms, and I considered getting a lodger, but that was a very brief consideration. And sure, I have guests, I entertain, but realistically this place is mainly occupied by one person, and that one person only sits in one room at a time. So I started thinking about moving. I had to get changed because it was so hot that I wasn't able to record this video. I can't stand being too hot. Anyway, where was I? Yes, so I started thinking about moving. Turns out this house may be even too hot for me too. Yes, I started thinking about moving. I've been exploring the idea of downsizing and using my money for experiences instead of house maintenance. Let's be honest, I've never been a house renovation person. No matter how much I love architecture, I love houses, and any TV shows that deal with house renovations, I'm just not someone who dedicates time to DIY projects or constant renovating and upgrading. I've never been a garden person either. This garden my ex-partner dreamed of, somewhere I ventured out to maybe 5 times within the last year. I just don't use it. I love parks, I love woodlands, the great outdoors, but it just doesn't mean that I need to own any of it. As most of you know by now, I've always been to freedom. Financial freedom, but more than anything, mental, psychological freedom. I don't own much stuff. In fact, I keep things minimal because I'm happy with less. There is freedom in not owning or maintaining unnecessary things. In my experience, and according to basic psychology, people who hoard or compulsively collect stuff often have much deeper issues that they're just simply trying to fix with the wrong methods. Luckily, I don't have that problem. As much as I understand single people who live in houses or huge flats and embrace that and love the space, I'm not one of them. I see living in a house like this on my own in as highly populated and often highly dense city as London as a waste. So here's why I want to do this. It's always important to know why you're doing something. I want more freedom, less maintenance, less stress, and less money spent on upkeep. And more flexibility to pursue personal projects, meaningful work, and also travel. So I want a place that covers essentials, lets me live light, and allows me to invest in my future. And judging by the small poll I carried out a while back on this channel, most of you guys agree. So let's talk specifics. Let's talk numbers. Last year I had the house evaluated. One estate agent said it's worth £475,000. Another said I could easily get $500,000. You know, house prices and evaluations are always fluctuating. But let's stay with these figures from last year and bring them to this very moment. So my remaining mortgage in November 2025 is $213,000. And the cost of selling, legal and estate agent fees, I don't consider moving fees as a huge expense. So these would be about 10K. So my potential profit would be 277K. Now, I like progress and growth, and I don't like stagnation and holding myself back. So I was really, really tempted to downsize immediately last year. But I'm also not a fan of impulsivity. I prefer being strategic in my life. As Naval says, wisdom is knowing the long-term consequences of your actions. It's not easy to be wise, but on this occasion, I decided to wait. I fixed my mortgage a few years ago, and the rate is super low at 1.98% until the end of June 2027. That gives me time. I contacted my bank last year about porting my mortgage, which means basically transferring it to a new property on the same rate. The thing about porting is that you kind of need to reapply for your current mortgage. So you need to prove your affordability, go through all the checks, and deal with all that jazz. Porting offers flexibility, but in all honesty, if I could pull it off, I'd love to be mortgage-free instead. So I started considering options for when my super low fixed rate expires. So I started considering options for when my super low rate expires. So option one would be to move somewhere in the UK and buy a place for cash, so buy somewhere outright. It's quite amazing what 277k can get you outside of London, but let's just leave it at that. Option two would be to move back to Poland, where I'm from, and buy somewhere outright there and have a hefty change left. In other words, become a Polish multimillionaire. Option 3 would be to stay in London and get a flat. Again, ideally without a mortgage. Okay, there were 3 options, but I have more. Option 4 would be to stay put for a long while and sell a chunk of my investments to reduce my mortgage to, say, 100k. I would have to sell off 100k worth of investments, and that way I will lower my monthly payments to about £670. And the last option, option 5, would be to stay put for a short while, overpay my mortgage by about 20k and keep my monthly payments just as low as with my current rate, which is slightly over 1100, and then sell up and move later. Now, I know that's a lot of options, but that's a good thing. So let me throw a spanner in the works and add some information. I'm currently training to become a psychotherapist, and because of this, my location can either hinder or accelerate my progress. And not only progress, but really development and opportunities. So with option 1, my fellow students need to look for training places to which they take multiple trains. I was able to find, hopefully, my next training place, fingers crossed, because I need to pass my current level first to be offered my provisionally booked place on that course. And I will walk away from my house. This is how many of those courses exist in London. With the second option, I'd need to complete a master's in psychology before I'd be even able to be considered for a course in psychotherapy. Poland loves overqualified masters of theory with little practical skills. And so academia dominates the whole education system. To compare it to the UK, you start seeing clients in year 2 or 3, depending on when you start your work placement. Masters of psychology or not. So Poland, as always, will have to wait. Option 3. Option 3 is currently my favorite one, the one that appeals to me most, because I could easily continue my studies here and also have no need to start again, to start fresh. And let's be real, I like London. So a quick search on Rightmove shows that 1-bedroom flats under 300k are plentiful. Yes, I get it. It would mean that I'd still need to sell off some of my investments if I were to go mortgage-free, because 300 and 277, there's a difference, plus, all the taxes and all the stamp duty and all that. But I'd be more than happy to make that trade-off. I'm also free of rigid thinking, so would easily consider different areas. My main requirements would be a long lease, decent structure of the building, especially the acoustics, and a humane service charge. Is that even possible? Option 4 would mean not moving, but still reducing this pressure of having a mortgage. So me being me, I calculated how long it would realistically take me to make up that sold off 100k, and it would be about 7 years for my investments to kind of catch up. Finally, option 5 is something that makes sense if come 2027, I don't want to create more stress for myself and, look for housing and qualify and complete assignments and placements and supervision and therapy all at the same time, and just choose to get my qualification first and then focus on my housing needs. So essentially, this option is the let's buy some time for housing decisions option. You probably noticed that I don't really consider getting a flat with a small mortgage. And yes, I get it, it would be one option, but I don't consider it because the idea of moving and, having all that hassle and stress and expense and still having a mortgage, but with a service charge on top of it for many years to come, just doesn't make much sense to me. too much hassle for very little return on investment in a way. Oh, and if you're about to point out the stamp duty and property tax changes that are very likely to be introduced in this month's budget, I'm fully aware of those, but I don't discuss them in detail because one, it's too soon for that, and two, even if they are implemented, because I got my property 11 years ago, I'd be very likely grandfathered in, which means I won't be affected by the latest changes. So, in short, my housing plan isn't just logistics, it's a psychological re-anchoring. I don't want my house to hold me back. I want it to be a home, functional, cozy and warm, but also meet my lifestyle needs. I'm not interested in status signaling. I like beautiful houses, but realistically, I have a better chance of making a flat beautiful than a house of this size on my own. Housing to me is a source of security and a base. And I do realize how privileged I am to have these problems. But the moment it stops giving me peace or is bigger than I need, the house is bigger than I need, I choose to reconsider. It's not about status. Once again, I don't care about impressing anybody about where I live because life is too short for external validation. It needs to serve me. And it's about how it fits into my life plan. And my life plan is experiences, not stuff, not house size. I want a decent place, cozy place with a long lease, reasonable service charge, and ideally no mortgage. It's easily done outside of the UK and also outside of London. Is it easily done in London? No, but I've always enjoyed the challenge, so let's see if I can pull it off. This video is very much thinking out loud and bouncing off ideas and doing some strategic wandering. And knowing my 2025 style, super polarized audience getting shut on in the comments. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those. Okay guys, what would you do? Knowing that it's not only about assets and not only about numbers, but lifestyle and meaning, which option sounds wisest to you? Option or options, plural. Recently, one of you asked me about my house in comments and I said I'd be making this video because I've had it in my head for quite a while now, as you could tell, inferring from my getting evaluation and then thinking of porting the mortgage and all that already last year. So here it is. I'm really glad to be reading of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you to also consider your housing options and always think from different angles. It's great to have options and also reflect on how housing really fits into the financial freedom and freedom in general. Thanks for watching, and if you're into videos on the same subject and you want to watch some more, here's one about the dream I let go of.